dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the world monetary system. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey is almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Fly government over there, so wanna ready to get get up, get up now, man. Get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet. Come on, sir. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus. I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen, shut. Tell me who made the angels sing, and tell me who made the joy bells, and tell me who is the King of Kings. Nobody but mine. Come on, try go me. Well, yes, he made the world, he made the sea. Oh, fasten them together with his man. Under his control and under his command. Nobody but. Tell me who made the angels sing, or tell me who made the joy bells. Like a bill, emancipate. Said I've got somebody with me to share my heavy load. I said I feel his presence near me every day. All and no trouble overtake me. Oh, I love life. Somebody lift up your hand. One and one hand. Slide go bill. Wave. I said I know he's able. He's able. I know my God is able to carry me through. I know he's able, no. He's able. I see you, mommy, I see you. I see you.
I know my Lord is able.
I want them to know this part. Listen. When he...
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you, God bless you now. I want to hear. When my name is called, I want to hear. Everybody this song, everybody this song. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something out. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out, Christian, walk out, Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the road and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, man, we have done, man. Everybody, so everybody, so. Live up my life. Live for Jesus. This is silent night. What a holy night. But Virgin Mother and Child, holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly, God bless you, God bless you. And we tell some people, I know one prayer we pray.
Blood and fire comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, me come with a speech, but it's a different speech me have to give tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself, him read for himself, him search for himself, and when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow. No. Ha, ho, ho. Who ya know? Underpants, Paolo. We the gal in the
Hold on, cut in, man, hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man, hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hand, so big up yourself, Mark Golding, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell Doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of PJ Patterson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn Commander Man Church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow chow.
We have your blood, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
Somebody said time come. It is so ironic that it is not greener on the other side. Somebody said time come. I have been analyzing the political atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to clarify a few things. A lot of persons believe, say, the comrades are against the bus system. We're not against the bus system, comrades. Am I speaking truth here tonight? But the way that seems right to a man may very well end up in destruction. Somebody say amen. When I look on social media, Mr. Buchanan, all I see is broken down yellow buses. The tires, them are rotten off. I wonder if I'm at the right place tonight. Hold on. And when the people have a problem with the modus operandi as to how they get the buses, them tell we bad mind. The devil is a liar. How if you bad mind when God has bless you, bless you, bless. Hold on. Let me just tell you this. I denounce, I refuse, and I rubbish the notion that the People's National Party has no plans. The devil is a liar. Recently, I was doing some research, and I recognized that our party leader, Mr. Marky G, has plans to help the disabled. He has plans to help the less fortunate. They plan on building how much thousands of homes. Allow me to tell, they have plans to ensure that young people leaving out of university, they can go and get a home, rent it, and then own it. God Almighty. How them for say PMP now no plans? I have said it before, and I will say it again. The People's National Party continues to be the visionaries of Jamaica. Me see them a hype with bus system, but a PMP start JUTC. Let the power fall on me, my Lord. Let the power fall on me. Over here, sir.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. I hope that you are well.
Let the power fall on me, my Lord. For those who are calling, it's not calling time. Let the power fall on me. Let the power from heaven fall on me. Let the power fall on me. Yes, let the power fall on me, my Lord. Let the power fall on me. Let the power from heaven fall on me. Let the power fall on me. Listen to me now, man. Like up the live, share the live. Ladies and gentlemen, God has been extremely good to us. We cannot complain. Yes, we won't complain. We won't complain. God is really good, and I'm really excited about your future. I hope that you are excited about mine. As Tina asking about the Barbados election, I believe it is still being counted. We've not heard any final update, but Mia Mottley is slated to win a third consecutive term, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the amount of seats that they got was indeed a landslide in terms. I think she got around 30 seats or something like that. Currently have 30 seats. So she's expected to win. She's expected to win. Don't quote me on that, but I believe Mia Mottley should win her third consecutive term, unless some powers intervene, some external political powers meddle in the election. But if all should go well, free and fair, a political mind would tell you that it shouldn't be a surprise for Prime Minister Mia Mottley to get her third consecutive term. All right? So, but I'm pretty sure we'll know when that news is released. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about what the Lord is doing. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, where you're viewing from. Let me know where you're viewing from. And while I let the people them know where you're viewing from, let me remind you that my new song is out. See somebody, all right, Janet. Janet, you're locked in. Janet is indeed locked in. Congrats, Perry, for today. Song release. Song is stuck in my head. Keep it up. Yes, I want it stuck in our head and our heart. Still all my songs shall be nearer, my God, to thee. Ladies and gentlemen, go and stream the song everywhere. It's on my other YouTube channel as well. That is Perry Christ Music. Right? Please go and stream, comment, share, and do all of the nice things them. All right? I see some people. All right, let me see what I want. London, England is in the building. Clarendon. North Carolina. I see East Portland is here. Veronica viewing from, what that? PA. New York again. Curacao. Yes. For those who listen to the song, thank you so very much. I hope it bless you and keep you true. Florida is here. New Jersey. All right. Portmore City. St. Mary, Canada. Central St. Mary is in the building. New Jersey. Yes. New York, Mobile, Hartford, Westmoreland, Linstead. New York again. Yes, St. Anne, Clarendon, and all of these people. My God. All right. Let us take a minute. Let's really take a minute and just give the Lord thanks. Yes, we have a special guest tonight, I wonder if you don't know who will be coming on tonight, eh? After all, this life is over, and my labor here is ended, and I climb upon the mountain top so tall. Come on, perspective. Looking over in that city where my Savior is preparing, gives me grace that I will make it after all. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, like up the live, no man, like up the live. I like when the people in the chat encourage the people to like up the live, like up the live. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at 7 p.m., we'll be having a special guest. We'll be having the man who brought the heat to Eastern Portland last year. The man who brought the heat. Yes, share it, like it, man. Like up, like up, like up, like up, like up. Don't just watch. Like up, like up. The man who brought the heat. He will be joining us at 7 p.m. Somebody say him broke the vase. Or him broke a part of him broke a vase. Him broke a vase. Him broke a vase. But we'd like to have a conversation with Mr. Isat Buchanan. He's one of the newest MPs. He has been doing well in Parliament. We've been seeing his advocacy, and we'd like to do a follow-up with him right here on The Perspective. What his experience has been like since going into Parliament, of course. You know, many persons know or see the glory rather, but a lot of persons, they don't really know the story. We may want to ask Mr. Buchanan how he managed to overcome different obstacles in his life and to be the national impact that he has been, especially in recent times. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to implore you right now to like the live, share it, share it, share it, share it, right? And let us definitely anticipate a wonderful discussion. I am not talking to you, Siri. But what are we, Siri? Siri feel like I'm talking. I'm not talking to Siri. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this big conversation happening on social media about Mr. Damon Crawford, Peter Bunting, the PAAC meeting, and all sorts of things. What is really happening? You see, sometimes we can be easily distracted, you know. And it is such a shame. Some of us, we tend to get distracted. And I want us to be vigilant. You know, there's a reason why the Lord has been really dealing with me about being focused. I've been telling my viewers, I've been telling people, young people, I've been telling us to be focused in this season. Ladies and gentlemen, not everything we need to address. It's something that I don't know where I really got it from, but it is just within me to not respond to everything. And if I do respond, it is long after when I am led. But I am disappointed because I went on social media to do my regular browsing and, you know, the surfing of the net. And I see a whole lot of PNP supporters participating in the propaganda machinery of the Jamaica Labour Party. And that for me is very disappointing. You would think that by now, we would know that the Jamaica Labour Party is really a propaganda organization. We looked at the history of the JLP yesterday, right? And we dissected how the JLP came into power. It was built on propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation. We allow them to do all sort of things where that is concerned. But when it comes to us, ladies and gentlemen, we should abstain from having certain conversations. Now I see some PNP supporters calling out Damian Crawford unnecessarily. Calling him out for what? As far as I'm concerned, the move by comrade leader, party leader, Mr. Mark Golin, was to have Dr. Alfred Dawes being at the PAAC meeting because Christopher Tufton will be present, and we have still not received substantial responses from the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health, as it relates to the many woes that have taken place at the University Hospital. And the committee is not fixed. People will come and people will go from committees. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. Don't you recognize that the Jamaica Labour Party, they are clutching at straws? Don't you realize that for a party that is in government, they behave as if they are the opposition? And I'm going to call out the propaganda machinery of the nationwide news because they have misled the public once again. Yes, we have Mr. Isat to join us in a bit, but we'll deal with this a little bit and then we'll deal with it after. But don't you recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that again, the aim of the JLP is to spread misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda. They are trying to distract the people from the real issues that we are facing as a country. When we talk about the plan to bring casinos, and we heard Mr. Buchanan talking about the importation of the equipment and certain guidelines that we must not allow to get by us. We saw those serious conversations about gambling addiction in Jamaica. And if the government has taken into consideration the realities that Jamaica will have to face. Why are we encouraging our Jamaican citizens to squander their money when we are already facing a very terrible economy under this administration? Why are we encouraging our young men to go and squander their money when times are already hard? Why is it that we are allowing this corrupt administration to distract us from the real issues, Cersei? The real issues. Look at the state of our nation. So many people are still without roofs. They are still suffering in the West. And look at what the Jamaica Labour Party is facing in this country. No, no, we have to take a deeper look at gambling though. We know that we have addicts already in Jamaica. It doesn't help when you bring down casinos with the luxury of the different games and all of that. We shouldn't be encouraging gambling addiction, and we shouldn't be going down that venture without proper safeguards. We know we have a gambling problem in Jamaica already. It doesn't help when you allow big casinos to come out here and to encourage people to spend the money that they don't have. It doesn't help. How does that help the situation? And again, who will be the owners of these casinos? And ask yourself the question, will the Jamaicans benefit? Will the Jamaicans benefit? Because we love to talk about these big investments and foreign investments and tourism and all of that. Ask yourself the question. Who will benefit from all of that? So we are allowing the Jamaica Labour Party, ladies and gentlemen, to get into the psyche of some of our comrades, and it is very disappointing. It is very disappointing. And for you nationwide, I'm going to call you out yet again. I'm going to call you out again. This is misleading. To say that Crawford steps down from PAAC amid alleged tensions with Bunting, it is misleading. It is misleading, ladies and gentlemen. And this is an attempt of the Jamaica Labour Party to try and destabilize the People's National Party. History has a way of repeating itself. Wasn't it last night we spoke about these things? I wonder if we understand what I'm saying here tonight. Do we understand how the JLP administration goes to work? They sow seeds of discord to destabilize political movements that they see as threats to either attain power or to remain in power. And I'm disappointed that some of our comrades are buying into that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new era of the People's National Party. This is a new era of the People's National Party, where we will not allow ourselves to be drawn into the fray, into the cas, into the mix-up, into the propaganda. Remember, the true propaganda machinery in this country is the Jamaica Labour Party. I'm going to see if I can find the clip again.
Jamaica, I'm skipping. They tried in 1976 to organize a military coup to overthrow Michael Manley. In 1976, they supported attempts to assassinate Michael Manley on 3 different occasions. The little man who led Jamaica, who spoke at Savior's Day, was such a threat to our government that they attempted 3 times to assassinate the man in 1976. So later, they found a way to get rid of him through riots in the street over food when they cut off assistance to Jamaica. This is America.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Listen up.
Using the Jamaican Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in, because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous, because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans. And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life. The purpose of all those activities of violence and armed robbery and murder, coupled with the propaganda campaigns calling for the overthrow of the Manley government, naturally created a situation of terror, really, of tension, of uncertainty, of doubt. and fear.
Marley, who had never expressed a political affiliation, was suddenly thrust into the political arena when both parties sought his endorsement. Marley, however, was wary of the risk that came with being associated with the political figure during such a volatile time. He planned a peace concert, a concert that he wanted to represent peace. Marley's idea was to bring both candidates on stage and have them shake hands, showing the good intentions of both of the leaders. But false rumors that he was supporting Manley began to circulate, and posters started appearing around Kingston suggesting that Marley was going to do the concert on the front lawn of Prime Minister Manley's home. Both parties did eventually agree to have the concert at a neutral site, but it was too late. Marley's perceived favor for Manley made him a target for the conservative right, which included the US and the CIA. Aware that his life was in danger, Marley hired a security detail to guard his home 24/7. However, on December the 3rd, 1976, his guards were strangely absent when 2 carloads of gunmen came to kill him. They ran through his compound, shooting everybody that they could find, and Marley was hit along with his wife Rita, who was shot in the head, and a few of his crew members. Now the concert they...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the history of the Jamaica Labour Party. They are known to the only way they can win elections is by destabilizing their opposition. It is to destabilize their competition. So I am disappointed. I am disappointed in some of our comrades who are buying into this nonsense. This is the dark and gloomy history of the Jamaica Labour Party. How they destabilized the Manley movement and the Jamaica by extension. So history has a way of repeating itself. Now we see the propaganda machineries coming out to spread misinformation and disinformation, trying to cause comrades to fight against each other. And I'm saying, wise up, comrades. Don't allow the nonsense of the JLP to poison your mind and to cause you to shift focus. Listen, the JLP, they're already on the ropes. They are on the ropes and they know it. Tell me when last you saw a JLP blogger come out and advocate for the people in the western part of the island who are suffering because they've received no help from the government. When last have you seen a JLP blogger come out and speak out against the blatant corruption happening in this nation, even with the Auditor General's report? Why don't you hear anybody talking about that? Why is it that nobody is talking about that? They have been bought out. They have been given a script and they must abide by the script. And that's why God is going to shake this nation. And that's why Mr. Cliff Hughes will have to duck on that table again.
Wow.
The minister said,
we are having an earthquake. Oh God.
That's an earthquake?
So I am making an appeal to my beloved comrades. Dearly beloved. Dearly beloved. Can I have a word with my comrades? Don't fall for the nonsense. Do not fall for the nonsense. This is a tactic of the Jamaica Labour Party propaganda machinery to distract the people and to cause them to fight amongst themselves. Comrades, 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 the Jamaica Labour Party, they have lost a significant amount of political capital. The only thing that is keeping the JLP afloat is their investment in marketing. And I must admit, they have invested heavily in marketing and PR. And that is the reason why, even when they are doing filth and they call it good governance, a lot of people believe. Why isn't it a reality that the Jamaica Labour Party should apologize to the people of this country. Those bloggers, Cersei, I would like to have a conversation with them. You know the bloggers that I'm talking about, Cersei. Because when I confronted them about the Auditor General's reports, they tried and make excuses for Minister Vaz. But I would like to highlight, ladies and gentlemen, that Minister Vaz, the telecommunications minister, says he accepts Auditor General's position about procurement breaches in relation to the acquisition of the Starlink devices. The same Minister Vaz who came out talking about if it happened again, I'll do it again. If I'm ever in a position to do it again, I'll do it again. It is the same Vaz who is coming now to now accept the Auditor General's report. Where are the bloggers, you JLP tough-head bloggers? Where are you now to defend corruption? Where are you to defend the foolishness that we've been speaking about? Many of you JLP bloggers and advocates of the Andrew Wilson administration, you guys gaslighted the Auditor General and made it seem as if she was stupid or her reports made no sense. You gaslighted the people of this country. You gaslighted the PNP. You gaslighted the opposition. You gaslighted me and made it seem as if we're just giving trouble. We're not here to be mischievous. And look at what the minister is saying now. He's now accepting. So, Mr. Prime Minister, what are you going to say now about your bureaucracy? Your bureaucracy. About complex bureaucracy. You came out defending the minister indirectly, talking about it's the complex bureaucracy that is preventing your administration from executing any real work. Foolishness. And if we do have excessive bureaucracy in this country, let it remain. Because under this administration, we need excessive bureaucracy more than ever before. We cannot allow this administration, ladies and gentlemen, to rob, kill, steal, and destroy the people of this country. You were wrong, Minister Vaz, and your arrogance will be the fall of you and your administration. Mark my words, no pun intended. But because you all knew that you were in clear breach, the Auditor General made it very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that it was an improper procurement procedure. Improper, Minister Vaz. Improper. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step further. It can be considered as illegal. One by one, you come out and talk about Damian Crawford step down. These are the things you guys should be talking about. Bias and bought out. One by one.
One by one, Uno go into jail. One by Uno go into. One by.
Coming and talking about nonsense. Huh? Talking about when you have clearly accepted the blatant corruption in this nation. And you guys make excuses for this corrupt administration. Now when you say Minister Vaz, it's because it's pressure him on there, you know. It is pressure him on that because I'm telling you to come out and gaslight the Auditor General when you know you're in clear breach. It has sent a dangerous message to the people of this country and our democracy and to our dear beloved bureaucracy. And has protected our people from some of these corrupt politicians. I know you're coming pivoting. You should be locked up for your indecent and out of order behavior. This administration must be called out for their blatant disregard of proper procedure. Look at the amount of procurement breaches that we've seen right across this administration. Look at the many times the Auditor General has flagged mismanagement, procurement breach here, procurement breach there, corruption at its highest.
Jamaica ranked 73 and they scored 44 on the 2025 index, the same score as the year before. How is that score calculated?
So it's important to put in context for the listeners how the score is done. So when this range from 0, you're highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. Now, Jamaica, we have scored 44 since 2017, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. So you're seeing where we improved in 2017, but we've remained with the 44 since. And the question that we have to ask ourselves as citizens, why we have not gotten better, we haven't gotten worse, are we satisfied with the fact that there is no improvement and we are somehow stagnant? What is our feelings? What are some of the contributing factors why we have not seen improvement in our country when we want to have a system where we have improved significantly in our corruption score? And I think that is the question Jamaican citizens have to ask themselves today.
So what does Jamaica's score, that 44, what does it mean and what does it say about where we are, how we're doing as a country?
No, a score of 44 is moderate. But any score under 50 is generally not seen as good. And I think we have to put in context that the average score is 42. So while we're doing a little bit better than the average, and we're seeing a worsening globally with how countries are doing and the levels of corruption or perceived corruption in the countries, I don't think we should be satisfied with where we are. Because a score generally below 50 means that there are still high levels of bribery, favoritism in public contracting, possibility of political influence, impunity, or weaknesses in our institutions. I think one of the things I must say, though, that we have a strong integrity commission in our country, which was established by law in 2017. Perhaps that's one of the contributing factors why we actually improved in 2017. The question, though, why have we not gotten any better? I think we have to look at several issues. We still see corruption matters emerging. The most recently, for example, maladministration based on the allegations of misuse of the tax exemption certificate recently at the university hospital. We have a matter actively before the courts right now, and that is good. But we have not seen the improvements in the law. We know that the Integrity Commission Act, for example, was before a joint select committee. We have not seen the conclusion of that or any strong indication that we will see the strengthening of the institutions. But on the contrary, we have had public commentary from government officials that have made less than favorable comments towards the major anti-corruption agency. We don't have an anti-bribery act in this country, which means that some of the situations where a private sector agency may have been involved in bribery actions, we do not have robust mechanisms to deal with that. We don't have a strong framework that deals with conflict of interest. And I think generally, even our attitudes as citizens, it perhaps need improvement. Yes, people are angry about some of the situations that come up in the news broadcast, as CVM will say on the midday news, on the 5 o'clock news, 7 o'clock news. But are we angry enough to demand better and more from our government officials so that they know that they must do better, that they must have the enforcement of the laws that we have already and actually move towards strengthening of the institution? Perhaps it's a combination of all of those factors where we have not seen the improvement in the scores in the country.
The Jamaica Labour Party, they have weakened the institutions that by design were implemented to protect the people and to keep them safe from corruption, poor governance, and things alike. It is this administration, ladies and gentlemen, that have weakened and undermined the institutions, the different advocacy groups. So while Minister Vaz is backtracking now on his very arrogant stance, his very wrong stance, that he was in no breach, and what he did was right, and opposition gets Starlink. So I don't see why what they're going on about. You remember though Minister Vaz was going on? But it's not the first we've been seeing. You remember how Minister Vaz acted out in Parliament when he was reading the wrong information about the JPS report? You remember how he went on, and Dr. Dayton Campbell had to stand up in Parliament and say not one of the people in his constituency got the light? And after when we went back to the drawing board, we recognized that he misrepresented the reports. And he had to apologize. It's a flip-flop government. They are just pumped up on arrogance, no substance, no nothing. And it is a shame, ladies and gentlemen. And it is so interesting. But we could go on and on. We could go on and on. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will be having one of PMP's finest. Yes, one of the finest of the MPs. One of the newest, but one of the finest. He brought the heat. He brought the heat to Portland East. And some of you, many of us, we know that he broke a vase. He brought the heat, and they said that the comet was coming, and indeed the comet came. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you none other than Mr. Isat.
Greetings. Why you set me up to get boxed up? Where you talk about?
The damage done do already.
No, the least among the finest. Yeah. Thank you. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Isat, how are you?
I'm great. It's a pleasure to be on the perspective, to share my perspective.
Yes. And as usual, we're all indeed excited to have you here. But Isat, I really wanted to ask you, and we want to know, how has things been in Parliament, man? One of the newest members. How has that experience been so far?
Oh man, I was gonna say that it has been really good so far until yesterday.
What happened?
I don't even want to talk. If you don't know about it, I'm gonna just let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide.
Me hear a little thing, but me hear say you stand firm just the same.
Yeah, man, ain't nothing worse than when non-lawyers try to bright themselves when you're making your contribution in relation to serious issues that affect the people of Jamaica. And it's my duty, certainly, as an attorney, a human rights attorney, and now a legislator, a lawmaker, which is my purpose in Parliament. I'm not there to spill teeth like a hyena and knock desk. I'm actually there to do the people's work. So most offended yesterday when, if you want to be 7-time general, 5-star, 6-star, whatever you think you're doing, and your years of idling, you want to come bright yourself with me. I'm not about that. Try Jesus, don't try me.
It is
yes.
Yeah. Try Jesus. Yeah, try it. Isaac, Mr. Buchanan, it's so interesting though, because a lot of persons, I don't think a lot of persons remember just how instrumental the legal fraternity is in our policy making and in just the whole business of governance. Could you just remind us as to how important it is for us to make room for those conversations?
I will say this, and I'm saying it with a bated breath because I'm sitting here waiting on the results of the Barbados elections. But
Yes.
when you think of a leader like the most honorable Mia Mottley, who is an attorney in the past, Ralph Gonzalez, and across the Caribbean, some of the greatest and finest leaders, attorneys.
Michael Manley too.
The most honorable PJ Patterson, who spent the longest, in as the prime minister, is an attorney. The profession, the noble profession, which I'm happy to be a part of, is one that has shaped this country for years. Norman Manley wasn't just a boogie yaga. He was an attorney and brought the Constitution to the Queen, which became a part the Order and Council in her diary, which is our Jamaican 1962 Constitution, the first in the Caribbean. We take these things lightly, but too many times, I mean, since I've been in Parliament, I had a spat with another senior attorney, because I was humbly saying, I'm a part of the Parliament now, and what cannot happen is for us to put out legislation that people gonna laugh at us, not just across the world, because legislation is comparative. We compare and we adopt or we reject legislation across the world. So I felt that the amendments to the Jury Act, which was known as the Sean Campbell or the Vice Cartel Jury Tampering Amendment, was pitchy patchy.
My God.
And I have too many times while we are there in the Parliament, the Honorable Leader of Opposition, Mark Golding, he politely does it, but he has to be saying as one of the parliamentarians who have drafted and brought legislation after legislation.
Yes,
he painstakingly have to be changing words and stuff. So I appreciate, let me let you know, I appreciate all the attorneys that sit in the House. That is our job as attorneys also, to interpret law while we're drafting, to correct, so that we serve the people and not bring harm to the people. I could say a lot, because yesterday was the most disappointing day in Parliament, from the passing of the casino regulations, the income tax, which is the most draconian to date amendment has ever been passed across Jamaica. So when they boast about no new taxes, just know you file the taxes and you don't pay it this year, next year you go to jail. Remember me did tell you that. And while we raise it, person says that's not the intent, but the clear language when judges interpret it are going to interpret it for what it is. So it's not what you thought, but what it is when it gets into the legislation. So, apart from that, very honored to be serving the people of Portland Eastern, the most ungrateful set of people in Jamaica. While we wear it for a reason, because Portland has a voice. I promise you that. Portland has a voice, and it's important because let me tell you something. We don't live in a vacuum. 63 constituencies and many things are going on, and when it comes to the management or mismanagement of the country, you're going to always have to have people who are speaking up, and that's what this current PNP opposition is doing.
Mr. Buchanan, you mentioned, and I want to just remember when persons branded Eastern Portland as being ungrateful. But Mr. Buchanan, what has your experience been like in Eastern Portland? We saw one of your videos about the garbage issue. Could you just shed some light as to what has been happening on the ground?
Well, when I last year pre-Melissa, I raised the garbage issue as a health crisis. Raised it to the Minister of Health and asked if he would use his powers to speak to the local government minister, the Honorable Desmond McKenzie. And right thereafter, trucks came, pick up the garbage. After that, the garbage pickup has been so slow or inadequate that there's a pileup of garbage. It is the duty, and in one of the most concentrated area, the mayor of Portland lives in Mansion Hill, and the garbage is scattered all across Long Road, Long Bay, right up to Hector's River. The drums by Dillian, the skip by Dillian. It's just you see it in the video, and there is while the Prime Minister moves to have everything monitored and done by central government, it is most embarrassing because it's mismanagement. There's a neglect of garbage collection all across Jamaica, and I'm taking this opportunity on the perspective, and I'm thanking you for inviting me to say to people that we must educate ourselves in terms of what governance, who is responsible for doing what. Because local government and parish council, they have their duty. NSWA, the National Solid Waste Agency, is responsible for picking up the garbage as local government minister. And to be honest with you, is very disappointing. Because you will see them in pictures saying we get 10 new trucks and we're billing back better in the west, but you neglect the east. It's completely unacceptable. And then ask me if the people of Portland now cuss me and tell me say the town dirty and tell me, they even tell me say me for go buy garbage truck. Take some cartel money we can't done. Hold on. Open quotation, close quotation. But I've learned not to. This is a time when I would quote his new song, but I'm gonna digress. The last time I quoted him, it cost me, and I did have to pay it. Me now do that again. But literally, and so I will even say the audacity, but I take it how I interpret it when they curse me and ask me to do it is because prior to me, no one was doing it, so the expectation is high. What I have to do is simply advocate and put out because I'm opposition. I have to ball out.
but you have to because and you mentioned something, and ladies and gentlemen, and we're so happy to have Mr. Isat here because you mentioned central government and the perceived move of this administration to centralize power in such a way where it seems as if the MPs, I heard a conversation and I would love to hear your perspective on it. Do you believe that MPs are intentionally being, isolated from certain issues? Is that a strategy?
All right. So I always say context matters.
Matters, yes, and that is Isaac's show. Yes.
But I'm on the perspective right now. So let me give you my perspective. So let's take it slow. Imagine. So your imagination have to wide now. Work with me. Imagine being the leader of a country and you have MPs that lack aptitude and capacity. Their ability to manage the country would mean that your confidence in their ability to do the work and you to not be disappointed, you would have to closely monitor and manage.
Yes.
So I don't think, and I'm going in the mind of the Prime Minister if I can so do. Because that would, otherwise, if that is not the case, then it is a clear, deliberate, intentional act to sabotage members of parliament, especially at a time when Mark Golding has successfully captured 14 new seats.
Yes.
Double the cadre of MPs. So this move to centralize everything and circumvent the role of the MP and then leave MPs to be token persons that knock desk, if you can remember what that looked like in Parliament before I entered there, especially for Portland Eastern, then you can appreciate that aspect of it. But outside of that, I think that it is not the proper move because the MPs are the persons who interface with the voters.
Yes, that's true.
And also are to have relationships with councillors to make sure that the best use of public funds is to serve the people. So when you circumvent and everything is centralized, then we have these unfortunate experiences where the Auditor General comes in and says, people friend I do this and people I do this, and then you have the number one station for state media that get money to just put out these everything is breaking news and misinformation from people who don't have law degrees or are not lawyers, and it's just total pasa and cas. So for me, I'm going to put it that I think the Prime Minister means well. Whether or not it is something that's workable, I'm going to just say respectfully no. I think we're going down a road that will just divide the country and certainly make the people feel the pressure of neglect more. It is a tactic that our slave masters used back in the day.
My God.
You're food deprived, you're deprived of freedom. So when they say you can stay up a little later, or you can walk a little further on the plantation and visit another plantation, you feel like you're getting a blessing. And if you were from America, you get a little watermelon and you feel nice, and a little chitlins and a little, all the pork eaters fire button. But you know, them know what I'm saying. And we just have to look at it like this. Local government is essential to the good governance of the country. Any attempt to circumvent local government, minimize their role, will be problematic. And I'm saying that in the context of the one road authority, what that will look like. And then any attempt to circumvent the electoral process by emasculating the members of parliament and making them impotent or making them barren to my female counterparts and incapable of nurturing, mothering, fathering their constituents, which is the work that we do. So I certainly, since I have become the member of parliament, my begging turn up more. Me not think Rosa Lee and all them people that top up screen more than me, and I beg every organization, everything, because the bulk of the funding and the distribution and the care for the people have been from support from the diaspora and charities. I recently have managed to set up storage units down in Portland Eastern, awaiting the charity that has come to Portland Eastern. Desk and chairs for Fair Prospect High School, beds, hospital beds, electronic beds. One of them costs about $3 million. Have two secured already for the Port Antonio Hospital. Because if you tour there, you realize that the people who work there, they can't speak out. But the neglect is real. There's a serious focus on Cornwall Regional, and we just have to do what we can until they get to us. Let me put it that way. I'm not blaming anybody, but to say that we have to start the work, and that's what I'm doing now. I hope I answered your question. Come and chat now.
Of course, of course, I start. And you touched on just the experience. Well, especially after Melissa. What has your experience been in the constituency during Melissa? We didn't get a chance to have that conversation with you, but what was it like? A category 5, first time being an MP. How did all of that go?
You know, I'm gonna tell you, because you're the first person that asked me this, to be honest with you. Do you know that there were heavy prayers that Melissa would have touched down in Portland Eastern and wipe out Portland Eastern? There were Jamaicans that were saying that, Laborites who were saying that, and had wished that the ungrateful parish get the bulk of Melissa because they have personal hate for Isat Buchanan. Or, let me put it a nicer way, they have extreme love for the former MP. From digging up roads to whatever. So whilst there were missing photos that I wasn't there, but I live in Portland. And I weathered the storm in Portland. And let me tell you, I don't want to imagine what it was like in Westmoreland, because when you hear the wind and when you see when you see what was happening, because I live by the seafront, and it was scary. But even after that, to tell you that when you look at Fellowship, when you go up into the Mansion Hill division and you look what happened in Reach, when you go up to Bellevue, when you go up Comfort Castle, Millbank, and a video out now that shows you the Comfort Castle primary and infant roof gone. So it was massive destruction and people lost their homes. It looked like ground zero in Westmoreland. And right after that, people were saying nothing is wrong with Portland. And notwithstanding the evidence, people were saying nothing is wrong with Portland. But then they start to cry. And so it was the diaspora that rescued me, because through the GoFundMe, they sent money. When the Prime Minister sent $1.5 million for care packages before, and then another 1.5, and for you to get the money, you had to write down every person that you gave a care package. And he said, no, that's not the case. And even now they're requesting. So for me to ensure that and while the government has suspended, they have suspended the food distribution, as they call it, they have gone on to the rebuilding phase. I have to continue it in Portland Eastern. My people certainly not gonna go hungry, and I do my best, even when them accost me. And when people will play games on the internet and chat foolishness, but the lived experience is something that I'm ensuring that the people of Portland, and I can tell you this, shout out to the labor rights, show our labor rights, because we don't have no problem showing up at the office, and we're not turning the back, because we don't color in a Portland. Nobody get disrespect. You come to that office and it's there to serve you, whether I am there or not. And as long as I'm the MP, diaspora, and I got tired by Bob Marley, a Black History Month, this and Reggae Month, like Bob Marley said, when I got tired for see my face, and I got tired.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm in a shame tree. So me gonna beg and beg and beg. And as long as you send the mackerel and the Gloria evaporated milk and the this and the that and the rice and the flour and the sugar, me I wrap it up and send it out every single week, non-stop. That is what I'm there to do. And I care zero what anybody have to say. They say me couldn't free world boss, who do it? Them say me couldn't beat. Them say you couldn't break the bars. That mean the observer with a sledgehammer. And them say, Isaac, what you doing? And I say, I'm going to break a vase. And I see the other one say, don't worry, honey. Yeah, but who dressing the wounds now, huh? Yeah, but leave it at that. Moving on. Yes, so that was my experience, and my intention is to build back a home for a particular lady. It won't be container. Trailer trash living will never be a part of my mandate. I'm not putting nobody in trailers. What I intend to do is build concrete homes. I stood in Parliament last year and said we need to build concrete homes, and they said those homes would have been distributed before December. That hasn't happened, and we are almost 2 weeks in February Saturday, and February done, and they still not do it yet. And I suspect that if you take it 1-1 cocoa full basket, 1-1 Isat bill. Shout out. Let me tell you, the Canada diaspora. Una shout out to Myriad Foundation for the prefab containers that they give me, so me can look spiffy, so that we can give A-class service. Shout out to the other foundations that have been sending the goods and the services. May I put it that way there. Big up to the diaspora for the hospital beds and the medical supplies in the sum of $10 million. Let me tell you something. Me hype and me bossy, because government money do none of this. So if you want sabotage, do it. You not sabotage yourself, because everything I do for the people, and I'm not gonna use your show for scandal nobody, but for any foundation that thinks that they can't work with me, it's not me on the hurting, it's the people that gonna say, you are charities to assist. And I am non-political when it comes to service to the people. There is no requirement to come to the office and say who you vote for. I don't
Yes.
care because you have one time in the year if you don't like me, and it's election time. And for everybody that tell me
Yes.
SIM, it's sweet me because me did beat I'm still love and that's what the electoral process is about. We're not there right now. Those who are politicizing and I guess that's how they get their bread and make their money. You're only hurting people. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break. This is the man who broke the vase in Eastern Portland, man. And when we come back, we're gonna talk about how he had to transition from just being branded as the world boss lawyer to how he transitioned into being the competent politician he is today. We want to hear more about that, and we're going to touch on his plans going forward because his manifesto is something that I personally enjoyed hearing. So we're going to come back, touch on those things, and then we're going to talk about his concerns about the casinos and the rights, the human rights aspect of it. We soon come.
Chairman, Comrade Jensek, distinguished panel and comrades, next member of parliament, PNPYO patriots, young people, Wagwan. We're not hearing a Wagwan.
And Protherapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub. Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center, just 10 minutes away from two major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where desire meets dining.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Perspective. I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr., and we're joined this evening, yes, with Mr. Isat Buchanan, attorney at law, MP for Eastern Portland. We've been having a good conversation so far, definitely. But we wanted to ask Mr. Buchanan how he had to transition from being branded, and oftentimes we can be branded for certain things, but there was a time in his life where he had to make a transition to not just be the well-abled lawyer who can get apparently anybody out of but how he had to put himself out there as a eligible MP. Mr. Buchanan, shed some light. How did that transition happen?
You know, let me tell you something. You see when you walk with God,
yes.
You won't be like Jonas. That's what I'm gonna say. The transitions are absolutely automatic, and in life, you have to be able to think on your feet. A part of being an advocate is to make the transition and adapt. Perry, you were on the ground while I was the candidate, and we did a lot of brainstorming. You were a part of the war room, so don't act like you don't know. But I will say, I will say that one of the most important things, you can see the transition at my presentation as the candidate. That's what they call it, the candidate presentation on the 10th of November. One would think that when you speak before the Privy Council and so many people are watching all over the world, that any stage is a stage you can manage. Except I show up that night and I look at the crowd and I say, "Oh, when me I gonna say to them people here?" And I must say to you, being a politician is not easy. One of the great things about the People's National Party under the leadership of Mark Jefferson Golden, you'll be tired to hear me saying his name, and with Dr. Dayton Campbell at the time as the GenSec, is he ensured that we were allowed on the platforms and we were able to address different crowds, different audiences, in different parishes, and you know, so you learn as you go. And the election right through, there was a place to go every single week, and you had to learn how to interact with the people. So that was training out of the People's National Party. The rest of it, I will say to you, like I will tell people as they're listening, anchor your expectations on God. You don't know what you can do, so you just have to follow the direction that God sent you. If you follow the direction that the devil sent you, that's a different thing. But if you follow the direction that God sent you, you won't have that problem. I will say though, the Parliament is a different court. It is a place where implicit bias reigns supreme. Favoritism and disrespect comes without invitation.
Yes, we saw last year some things that happened last year, man. That mics were being turned up.
And it is a place where I can tell you, if you don't appreciate why you are there, because I'm not there for the hype, you know. It's substance over hype always. But if it was ever hype, a problem. Because they're not afraid to shame, you know.
Yes.
Many a times I hear comments and I say, you know, if you track what is being said to some of the comments on the internet when they're being disrespectful, you say, you know who owns the particular dummy accounts. You start to say something like that. But the transition, I must say to you, Perry, is one where I am still learning.
Yes.
My complete mission is to ensure that I am bringing the heat, and I did say I was going to do what I had to do with or without government support. And and every week you can ask every minister every week. Me beg something.
You have to do what
I gotta do what I gotta do, but I'm not begging for me. So right now, the only people who understand what me I say is the youth. Them are on the stoplight.
Yes.
This is what I say. All me need are my scungy and my water, because I'm wiping windshields right now. That's where it's at. So they know what I'm talking about, and that's where government puts us, and that's what the people of Jamaica have to understand, that winning is a beautiful thing. And so for those who are in their feelings, especially to my comrades. Handle your differences internally, because they are, while their companions were sleeping, some of them is falling upwards to make sure that they're cheating and beating, and so that you stay in opposition. But the prize is government, and that's what people must appreciate. And me understanding that, I will take whatever comes in the parliament, but I know that, you know, that day, one bright morning,
yeah, it's going to happen. And you know, you mentioned being on the campaign last year with you, and let me tell you something. Thank you for the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. It was my first ever time being on any political campaign, and we were there in Portland. And let me tell you something. We saw different issues. We heard the plans, and Mr. Buchanan, I wanted to remind the people of the heat, which is health, education, agriculture, and tourism. I still remember it because I had to tell a lot of people what your plans were. So could you just tell us exactly how is that going? What exactly are the different things you're planning to string together to develop? Will it be addressing them in parts, or are there some things you'll be addressing first? How do you plan doing that?
So let me just say, the heat is connecting those ministries. With a manifesto like that, I want you to appreciate that the realization of the heat requires you to be in government. Doesn't mean though, like I said, one cocoa full basket. So every day that I get up and I'm serving the people, I'm bringing the heat. Even when cold front come, we still have to make sure that the heat always turn up and nobody no freeze to death. It means that when it comes to health, my mind is always on Port Antonio Hospital. There's always the mission to transform it from a C-type to a A-type. That never, ever, ever is going to change. And so when I tell you that with medical supplies and the hospital beds, not just so bed, you know, electronic, technologically efficient beds that will help, and the necessary medical supplies that facilitates that. Anything from the scrubs, the disposable, from diapers to whatever, the gauze, the this, the that, the shoes, the everything. We're making sure that they have everything, and the diaspora knows what is it, and we are partnering with persons, but you can't talk who you're partner with, because so them hear you on the interviews, I saw them call the people and say, you know, he's a convict, use me, don't use him, it's not going to look good for your foundation. But some people take the bait, some people know it's for the people. So that's for the health. The education, let me talk about education real quick. Unbeknownst to us, Perry, when we were handing out the tablets last year and we climaxed at 3,750 tablets.
Yes, I remember.
It revealed to me that it's just under 8,000 students that are actually are in Portland Eastern. And so the mission now is to complete that with an additional about 3,500 or another 3,700 tablets. And I intend to complete that mission very soon. In terms of fair prospect, are you hearing me? Because I want to ensure that it's not me paused, because I see you paused. Perry? Are you hearing me? Perry? I don't know if you're hearing me, but I'm going to continue talking. Yeah, and I was saying to ensure that I complete that mission, but my focus also is Fair Prospect High School. And what I'm doing with Fair Prospect High School is to ensure, I think Perry is out, but if you guys are hearing me in the comments, just say, okay, you're saying it. Yeah, Fair Prospect High School is an institution that is dear to me right now. They have labeled that school the Dunn School. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to ensure that that school is converted to a school that is likened or can be seen as the Port Antonio High, as well as the Titchfield High School, Happy Grove. We want to get fair prospect like that. I've interacted with the students, and regardless of any issues that they said these students have, I did reading day with a cohort. They're brilliant. They just need the facilities, and right now I have a shipment of desks and chairs that need clearing. That's a promise I'm going to keep and continue to ensure that I build that school in such a way, including the transition of the school board, the board, to ensure that we are consensus ad idem in bringing the proper service and treatment to the students. My mission is to ensure that these young people become doctors and lawyers and engineers and politicians and productive members of society. And you can be all of those things and still be an artist. Perry, a big gospel artist, so you know what I'm talking about. You still can be educated, and you still can get your own visa and travel the world.
Of course.
We need to ensure that that's what's happening for the education. Where agriculture is concerned, having really good a very good relationship with RADA. RADA has just completed their potato training, because we have to grow potato. We have to rescue the rest of Jamaica right now, because they're not going in the west. Also, I have a program, and I hope people in Portland are here, and you need to sign up. I'm finding people to do not just I have been handing out chicken for the raising, poultry. Have been doing that. We are trying to upscale in terms of with RADA. This project is going to see them building the fowl coops, getting the feeding, and becoming poultry farmers in a more structured way, inviting young people and all people that you mustn't just be a yard farmer. You must register with RADA so you can get the benefits. Stop asking for farm work card and you're not a farmer. If you even have intentions to be a farmer, go register with RADA so we know you and we know that you're serious about it. There are young people right now who are a part of the chicken program, and I'm going to tell you this. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing somebody get the chickens and 6 weeks later they come to you and say, MP, here is 6 chicken, here is 10 chicken, because it's allowed you. Just recently we had to we did the memorial for the former MP who was murdered in Portland Eastern, and we had the repast at the office, and the chicken that was used was from the persons who actually
from the soil.
They grow the chicken, and we were able to use some of that. And the idea is we can feed each other if persons are being productive and if persons are trying to be a part of something. So we're also going to throw a little Damien vibe into it and give some people some goat for raise, and rather help them to care and nurture, including the veterinarian services and all of that. So I have the program where we're doing livestock, we're doing the crop, as well as we're doing the poultry. So that program has been approved. Just need to sign up persons who are serious about it across the 5 divisions, and I'm excited about that. So that's for agriculture. And the minister, the Honorable Floyd Green, he promised me some fish wire. Every week me go and me beg him, because the fisher folk in Manchineal and right across Portland, if we not give them fish wire, them are gonna string me up, one way or another. So if you not give me the wire and you not see me, a Floyd Green fall, can not give me the wire when me I beg for. Agricultural minister, me I beg fish wire. Me want the wire. Yeah. And for the tourism, the ships are coming, big ships sailing on the ocean. Every now and then you see the big ship dock. We just need to fix in terms of what the tourists do when they come into the parish. And while we're doing that, again, local government. But the mayor now do nothing. The streets dirty. The garbage now get collected. Me shame. As the MP, me shame, because them now clean up the place. But as we connect,
Exactly.
as we connect the heat, you can see that stuff happening. So don't watch what happening on the internet. Stuff happening. And shout out to Barita Investment, NCB Foundation, the Brown Brook Urban Center. It's doing its thing, but I'm not the type of MP to go and dance and pretend like it's me doing it.
Yeah.
We could have a whole conversation about it, because in St. Thomas, when Dr. Fenton Ferguson, and if you know anything about Barita Investment, his son is the big boss down there. They visualized the St. Thomas Urban Center, and he was the MP, and then came the election, and I saw the Michelle Charles embarrass him on the stage. But when the Brown Brook Urban Center is complete, I hope that wherever the Miss Vaz is, she will come and be excited about it. I share the stage with anybody. I don't have inferiority complex, nor do I take.
Well, we're happy that you are not like that, Mr. Buchanan.
No, well, you have to understand that, it's, like I always say, substance over hype. Anything that is for the people, it's for the people. So right now, as I'm telling you, we have roads that are being fixed. Persons are going to get up, and whether it's being patched or whether it's being totally overhaul of the road, it's happening. That is what government is supposed to do. So any MP you see dancing about road, then just love dance in any parish. And when you see them on the roller steam out the road, they not even have the driver's license and the certification for them.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who you know?
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to keep that one there. Me ever fresh. So you don't see me on the road and no steamer, and you don't see me and shovel asphalt. Me no dunce. Me no dunce. Yeah. Yeah, I went to Meadowbrook High School. What the hell would I be doing on a roller or upon? No, are you crazy?
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Buchanan, one of the things that persons have admired about you, though, is your vocal, your vocal, character in Parliament. And apart from that thing that happened yesterday, apart from that, you've really hammered home some serious points, though, about human rights, and we should know that you're primarily your expertise is
for human rights and youth. Yes,
exactly. So shed some more light. What are your concerns, though, overall? And feel free to touch on anything regarding the casinos. What is your primary concern?
All right, so I raised it. The Prime Minister said yesterday that he addressed the concerns, and that the legislation itself and the commission, as well as the regulations, was comprehensive. But my biggest concern, especially for the casino regulations, is we're bringing an industry that is designed to take the money away from the country.
Hold on,
So
go deeper, Isat. Yes.
Well, the hotel industry, remember, the hotel industry is the salaries aren't commensurate to the work that our brothers and sisters are doing in the tourism industry. Good. When the casino comes, persons are going to gamble, and then when them finish, the money leaves like everything else with the tourism dollar. So these big companies come in, invest into, whether it be the real estate, they get the nice beachfront properties, and they do all of that. Whatever that means, we aren't going to have the tax dollars. It's not pumping money into the economy. It's actually taking it away. It's remittance for outside of Jamaica. What my biggest concern was that the regulation spoke about equipment and machines, and they had section 53, which spoke about, let's say you, Perry, wanted to open a casino, and you have the property in, I'm going to use Portland, and you have a nice hotel in Portland and you want to put a casino in, let's say, Trident. When you as a Jamaican owner decide to set up shop, you are going to need to have the necessary equipment for live gambling, the tables, the electronic, anything that will facilitate gambling within the casino. Well, they have section 55, which says you can make a particular application to get foreign equipment that we here in Jamaica, our commissioners, know nothing about. They will rely on, for instance, the laws in Las Vegas, the laws in California, casinos across America or anywhere in the world. And once their regulatory body says these machines can be used, they will grant the license where you make the application. The application for each equipment is $5,000 US. So if you try to bring in the equipment, you pay the $5,000 for each equipment, and they can just ad hocly deny you. But if they have no knowledge of the thing, what is the basis for them to approve? And then when you use what you can also do is bring the equipment in, use it. If it is an equipment, and we're talking about the ability to have machines that we know nothing about. So a casino can have you be gambling on equipment and machines, and you just lose, never win, and there's nothing to check the authenticity of the equipment, the device.
Yes.
Then it would mean then that because you're making money, by the time the regulatory body come and check the equipment, all you're required to do is pay $2 million on a machine or equipment per se that you probably made $30 million on. So it's like a strict liability thing where big companies like Bauxite and stuff, they poison the water and the fine is like $2 million, but they already make $1 billion. You pay the $2 million and the poison has gone. I take serious issue with that. And the regulations doesn't think prospectively towards situations like this. And I raised it. The regulation was passed notwithstanding. But that's just one part of it. The next after that, they had the amendment to the tax and income tax amendment. And the amendment was that persons, as in people, us, you and me, were to self-declare, say this is what I make, and start to pay. If you don't pay what you say, the percentage of what you say you made, by next March, it's your deemed notice. So they no longer have to send out the notice. The notice is deemed within the app. So if you fail to pay by March next year, you're in problems. And the interest. Yeah, so they're saying that it's giving you more time to pay, but if you fail to pay, you're now it's a new regime. So it's a draconian tax collection, and we're gone back into Rome. So now we're saying, when in Jamaica, do as the Jamaicans do, and you're gonna pay Caesar. And the situation, Caesar is Andrew Holness.
It's serious, and I start speaking about the casinos, ladies and gentlemen. There's a popular saying, the host always wins. The host always wins, and it is a terminology that is used. All right, so here's what they said: the host never loses. It's a common variation of the phrase "the host always wins," which means that gambling establishments, right, are designed to inevitably make a profit in the long run. So when we have our Jamaicans flocking these establishments, is it really doing more harm than good? And I think that's what we're trying to dissect.
Listen, it's doing harm, and don't get me wrong, shout out to those people who win cash pot here and there and even win the lotto. Those things are cute. But when one person win, it is a lot of people lose.
True.
The average man who play cash pot and buying lotto from lotto that come out 30 years ago have spent more than $1 million.
Wow.
They can't appreciate that they have done that, but they have done that. And so gambling, and Dr. Dayton Campbell and Damian Crawford. They raised it, you know. But you see, because they're beautiful speakers, it just sound good, so it's not hitting home the way it's supposed to hit. When you put the temptation before people who are desperate. I mean, when you even say they'll accept your credit card, can you imagine now you take your little credit card when you don't want to know and you start gamble, and next thing you know, you look for jump off of one bridge because you have a habit that you can't accept. So people have to do what they have to do. And it's happening all over the world. But like I said, I'll just put this here for context and perspective. Yes. Epstein won the lotto twice. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. So when the house always wins.
The house always wins.
I'll leave it like that. So gambling is evil.
Yeah, man, it's a serious thing. Yeah, we are almost out of time, ladies and gentlemen. We normally go up until 8 with the interviews, but Mr. Buchanan, for those who are saying that the PNP is not doing enough, and I asked the comrade leader the same thing, what would be your response to those persons who are criticizing the PNP and the opposition for not doing enough? And what is your response?
The people who are criticizing, if you didn't want PNP for doing them for doing it, that didn't make sure so the whole will win. So for the constituencies like Portland, Eastern, not to say ungrateful, PNP did enough, and we're going to continue to do. So let's not get that twisted. But the opposition is there for ball out, and I can tell you, never before have you seen an opposition like pitchy patchy legislation and great respect. Great respect for the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, who took guidance from the former Minister of Constitutional Affairs and said, let us not pass this pitchy-patchy legislation and withdraw the pitchy-patchy aspect of it. That is what the opposition is there to do. So we put it on record, and Parliament is a house on record. We're not going to sit by and make boogie-yaga pitchy-patchy behavior continue in the house. And don't take it like me not care when nobody wants to say Mark Golding, our opposition leader. He's a brilliant man, and he gives them good grace, and he suggests to them. He's not going to get up and say pitchy patchy like I do, and then everybody want to kill me. But it's not in me to associate myself with mediocrity, with dunceness. With convenience and ease, and as a house, as a parliament, this is not a criticism of government, you know. Us collectively, all parliamentarians, we want what's best for Jamaica. So when you take out the politics out of it, the opposition is doing what they have to do, and no, we're not getting up and just challenging just for challenge sake. I have many better things to do than to just sit there and do nothing, or just let things get by, because this is not a paycheck. This is the future of Jamaica. So while I am there, I'm going to do my best to ensure that when the baton is passed, something is there for the next generation. So don't take it lightly. So the criticism is fanciful, and I suspect it comes from X. Go over to X and say, Grok, what nonsense are these people criticizing? And Grok will agree. These persons are jobless and useless, and possibly get their income from posting nonsense. I'm doubling down on that, you know, they can't beat me. So respect to all the comrades that did their best. And when you want better for your life, the writing is on the wall, you know. We're just counting down the days and doing what we have to do. So while they're talking about whatever them think loading, this is not Microsoft.
Yes.
not soft about just about PNP and the comrades.
The minister said,
we are having an earthquake. Oh God.
That's it. Right up whistle. Let me stop.
Lord.
Yeah, but just to say, so I'm putting that out there so people understand that, and it will become apparent. It will become apparent, And me always say this, we're not afraid of tough chat. So when you come, just know, say anything where you bring, we're gonna broke that. We broke up all foolishness, and that's what this opposition is about. And as you can see, whether people take it wrong, we're not going to sit in spaces where anybody's small us up, whether it be our colleagues or not. And wherever we are useful, we're going to make sure that the people's business is done. So for those who take issue with Damien being replaced by Dawes, fret not thyself. Fret not thyself, because let me tell you something. When we're gelling, we're coming like Dr. Soul or however them call it. We're not no can pan toe. No can pan foot. The shoes them are go fit. This is not a lieutenant situation when we're talking about wear your size. So anywhere we need to be to gel, we are go gel. Yeah?
That's right. That's
yeah.
Right. No, but it is a
that's
big
all I'm going to say about that. Huh?
Yes, man, and I know a person that talking about that. But as a lawyer, as a known defender of rights, Mr. Buchanan, do you believe that there's an increase in corruption in our country? And I'm not speaking to any one place, but just overall. We've been seeing the reports from the Auditor General and there are different advocacy groups speaking out against procurement breaches. And what is your take on what we've been seeing in this country?
I want to say that the people have spoken. Jamaican, as in the voting population, because it's not the entire population. And I often wonder if the people who speak out even go to the polls. So you criticize and you might not even have a voter's ID. Enumerate, because we just came out of election on September 3rd. One of the things on the ticket was corruption. And the people, by giving the Andrew Holness-led administration a mandate, says they don't have a problem with corruption.
My God.
So right now, a homelessness and hunger, me I look upon and me I make sure that the people of Portland are hungry. And like me say, one cocoa full basket, me build one house at a time. That's what I am going to do. But my take on the corruption is, the corruption index say we're still in the same place where we was. Corruption not even gone down at toops. But you see Melissa come and we don't know where I go come that year and the earth are shaking a mansion deal. You see Cliff, you say, oh my God, wow. You see how it go. We just have to brace ourselves because taxes are coming. The taxes are coming. Yeah?
Yes.
So and it is inevitable. Can't even cost government because the country now go down. You see Cuba come the other day and beg a little gas and gas. We now have none for you. We never did give you no gas because them done cough up Venezuela. So no gas, no they forget about it. And petrol already leak out from before 2 elections ago.
Yes.
They did leak out a petrol jam. So we now. My comment on corruption is, if the people don't want corruption, they simply need to vote PNP. Me not take that back.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
Context matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've been seeing, ladies and gentlemen, increase in the reports of flagged mismanagement or alleged flagged mismanagement. We've seen a lack of oversight right across the ministries, and I really do want to ask Mr. Buchanan. I cannot take it for granted that he could spend the entire night with us. But what is the one thing though? You have a big day tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we never even talk about that. Tomorrow is the opening of Parliament, and I'm telling the people, watch, because I'm paying complete homage to the most honorable Michael Manley.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
Just watch. Yeah.
Just watch.
I'm harnessing the spirit of Michael Manley.
Yes. So we're gonna have to
watch. Stay tuned.
Yes. So what's the one thing though before you go and we will have to ask you right now, what is the one thing you'd probably jump at first if you were in government? What is the one thing that you'd seek to address though?
The one thing I would seek to address if I was in government is land issue. There's a simple way. We did put it in terms of regularizing and everything. Is to open up land. If I were prime minister, every single Jamaican would have a piece of this rock. And when I say a piece of this rock, if you use a maroon, me that send you close to a compound and you have it. And it's a simple thing, because you see when you have it, and you come a ball to me and say, if you not like where it there, cause you did get it, sell it and come out of my face. But me can't cuss you and tell you that because you don't have it. So that's the one issue is land ownership. Me want to make the have-nots become a part of the haves. And the Bible talk about Jesus and the talents.
Come on, man.
No, we mustn't take. Listen, man. We mustn't take it lightly because the idea that people are landless would mean that you are like the person that Jesus gave the one talent and you bury it. You can't multiply because you're holding on, and that one talent is like holding on to nothing. So being landless means you are homeless. Right now, there are people who don't have the land. So if a foundation want to give them a trailer, which I object to, them don't even have nowhere to put the trailer on. You see where I'm getting at? And so these things are very important. So regularizing and ensuring, that's the first thing that I would do. Have the conversations about that. And let me tell you something. Like me say, road and water and all of that, government is responsible for that. That's ongoing. No matter who is in power, that is continuity and ongoing. So the Spark program, the Reach program, the this, the that, if PNP was in power, it would have to continue. Couldn't cut short.
Yes.
And so at the time when the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, who born the same day as me, I can't say she took from my day because she born before me, she had many things in what they call the pipeline. And the response from people is, yeah, but you never do it. Well, understand that the 18-year argument is officially over. It is completely over. In fact, since 2002, the People's National Party has only won in the last 24 years one election. One after PJ Patterson last mandate, only one in 24 years.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. And so the progress that people speak of, if you're not feeling it, the prosperity that you're not feeling is as a result of the lack of the presence of the People's National Party. Everything, it's painful for me. And this is, you can shut off after this. It's painful for me to sit in Parliament knowing that Julian Robinson, such a competent man, and if you know his lineage, and if you know his sister, Professor Tracy Robinson, and who his father is, a most erudite jurist, and the intelligence and he would steer this country in a way as the finance minister, not in a pitchy-patchy way, but with the level of competence that Jamaica needs right now to survive. So I'm leaving it at that because I'm sure tomorrow after them are watching, them are watch. Them are watch. So you don't want somebody kick off yourself as a little opposition boy, Rasta boy. Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
let me just leave it at that and say that I am confident, like always, the God I serve do all things for a reason. And as we transition and navigate into the People's National Party taking its rightful place to make its contribution, led by the Honorable Mark Jefferson Golden. There's much to expect. So history has always vindicated those who people criticize. So before I go, I will say this: Marcus Garvey never made it to Garden House. And as one of my heroes, not just a national hero, but somebody who championed Maroon, Rastafari, Black identity.
Yes.
I know Andrew knows alone big, mine knows big too. But as a man who made it to Gordon House, important for people to know the significance of what is taking place and the opportunities that Mark Jefferson Golden has given to sons and daughters of Jamaica. Look at the cadre of MPs that is before you right now. The possibilities are endless, and I will say it, Perry, don't take it lightly. I am waiting your introduction into the Parliament. Don't take it lightly. I'm speaking it into your life. I
receive it.
Yeah, man, you are a leader, so don't take it lightly. Just keep doing what you're doing and don't make nobody draw you left, right, or out. True. Stay focused, that's the word. And as a son of Jamaica, I can only speak greatness into your life and say, continue doing what you're doing. And if anybody asks why I would spend, if it's 1 or 2 hours with you, one and counting, appreciate that. I respect what you're doing, and I know that your future is bright. And we must always support and encourage the next generation, because you could be talking to one day the next prime minister of this country. And I'm going to leave it at that. You don't have to comment after that. All right?
We'll leave it at that. Mr. Buchanan, thank you so much, man, for gracing us, man. It was really a pleasure. And listen to me, we're going to just remind people as he heads out, we're going to remind us the fire he blazed on the campaign trail last year, man. So, man, Mr. Isat, thank you so very much, man. It was a pleasure.
Good night, good night to your viewers. Take care.
Good man. Context matters, guys.
Chairman, Comrade Jensek, distinguished panel and comrades, next member of parliament, PNPYO patriots, young people, Wagwan. We're not hearing a Wagwan. A jungle me there, right? Jungle, are you ready? Oh, Lord. Now listen. Tonight I come to talk to you about intelligent-led policing and intervention programs. But before I do that, I want you to know that when we say blood, we mean one blood, not true? So we say one blood, more fire, and comrade victory. Say that by yourself. Comrade victory. All right, unave it. Now, when we talk about intelligent-driven policing, the JCF is getting a lot of technology, but the first thing I'm going to tell you is it don't mean nothing without the people. You understand that? So you have to think about community. I'm not talking about when Andrew Holness say you have to run down thief or run down bad man and help catch them. That never gonna happen. But
ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Isat Buchanan. He let me tell you something. He blazed a fire last year, and I'm telling you, it was fire that really and truly set ablaze. Listen to me. You see the win by Mr. Buchanan? It placed a dent in the JLP's machinery. I want to remind people of that. It placed a dent in the JLP's machinery. And to date, they've not recovered. They've not recovered from that loss. And we're very, very proud of Mr. Buchanan. And again, we appreciate him coming on just to share with us. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to touch on a few things before we go, because let me tell you this. The Jamaica Labour Party is a propaganda machinery. It is a propaganda machinery. They want to convince you and I that they are the ones with the truth. But the Jamaica Labour Party was built on lies and deception. Look at what Jamaica has become under this Andrew Holness-led administration. We've received trillions of dollars from our international diplomatic relations, and they boast about the loans that we've received, and they go on to talk about the friends that we have in different places. And I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I am concerned is because to date, we've not seen anything substantial from the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to the relieving of the people post-Hurricane Melissa. If somebody can show me what this administration has accomplished in any significant way, tell me what this administration has accomplished. We have people in the West to date still suffering because we have received so much money as a government, and we still have people suffering in this country. What do you have to show for the third term? I'm going to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, of some of the woes that we've been facing as a nation.
Mayor of Lucy, Sheridan Samuels, has accused the government of failing to distribute supplies that were intended for hurricane victims across the parish. Speaking with the CVM News, Mayor Samuels says that since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, little to nothing has been done by the government to assist affected residents, particularly those in Western Hanover. Carla Ramdeen reports.
A cat and mouse game. That is how Mayor of Hanover, Sheridan Samuels, is describing the government's handling of relief efforts in Western Hanover following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Mayor Samuels accused the government of making grand announcements but no action.
Grand announcements have been made, and when these grand announcements made, it's there for a little while, and within 9 days you don't hear anything about it again. So what they do is like you have a piece of cheese and a cat is there and you just rub it and then you remove it. So what they are doing to us in Hanover is just to show us the things that they can do. And without delivering it to us, they remove it again.
Mayor Samuels explained that following the hurricane, they were given relief supplies such as water tanks, generators, and other items, which were placed at a storage area at Watson Taylor Park in Lucy. But he says those items were removed, and to date, no one knows where they were taken.
They brought it to the holding sites that they have in Watson Taylor Park, and then they remove it. They remove it in the middle of the night, like Barney. They remove it from the site without the people benefiting from Hanover.
Member of Parliament for Western Hanover, Heather Miller-Bennett, explained that she has been investigating the matter, but due to lack of government aid, she has started a number of initiatives aimed at getting relief supplies to assist victims in need.
It's an issue. Yes, we're trucking water to the communities, but by the time we truck water to somebody who has just a drum, that's only for a day or two. So then the call is there to provide water again. So storage is an issue, and it's heartbreaking to know that they had these tanks, and instead of distributing them to the people of Hanover, they were removed.
The mayor added that if not for the goodwill of private donors, many hurricane victims in the parish would have been left stranded. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
What is it that we have to show for this third term? I won't be staying with you for very long. We've gone over our time. But what is it that we have to show? People are suffering in this nation. People are suffering at the hand of the Andrew Holness-led administration. What is it that you have to show for the third term? I am asking, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, for the people who got out there last year. You went out in your green and you paraded as if you were under a spell. What is it that you have to show? Melissa is long gone. We've received a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen, in aid. We've received, where are the tents? Why is it that you sent aid to the storage in Hanover and you go back and collect them? So let me ask a question, ladies and gentlemen. What is it that you have to show? Now, tomorrow, there's going to be a grand opening of Parliament. I'm going to say this, and I've said it before. I want the opposition to take this very seriously. Let this be a new way paved. Because gone are the days when we get caught up in the theatrics and the optics. We have people who are suffering in this country, suffering in this nation. Nothing to show for it. They've collected the aid, they've collected money, and people are still unable to identify what a government aid looks like. And Janet Jones in the court, come, I'm happy you're preaching with me, because in a few months we will be approaching another hurricane season. What is it that we have to show for this third term? Jamaica's corruption perception score unchanged. Then how can it be changed? How can it be changed when our Prime Minister came out recently talking about having a problem with bureaucracy? Talking about having a problem with complex bureaucracy, undermining the importance of having these rules and regulations in place. The corruption perception score, ladies and gentlemen, it has not changed. Because under this administration, corruption has increased significantly. Convince me otherwise. Under this administration, corruption is allowed. Corruption is allowed. How can we expect any change to happen? My God, I don't want to listen to me one. How can we expect corruption to change under this administration when Minister Vaz blatantly breached Section 20 of the procurement guidelines? OG, don't tell me to don't talk like that. Don't tell me to don't talk like that. I'm speaking the truth. How can we expect the corruption perception score to change when Minister Vaz blatantly breached Section 20 of the procurement guidelines and in a very arrogant way refused to even take accountability for what he did? How can we expect corruption to change in this nation when we have some of these leaders? They do what they want to do, break laws when they want to break it, do all sort of nonsense, gaslight the people and the advocacy groups in our nation, and nothing comes out of it. And he is the same one who had to come out and apologize. He had to come out and accept what the Auditor General said. It is a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. Don't tell me not to talk like that. How else I'm supposed to talk? What else? How else should I communicate it? Telecommunications Minister says he accepts Auditor General's position about the procurement breaches in relation to acquisition of Starlink devices. You tough-head labor rights, what are you going to say now? What are you going to say now? What are you going to communicate to me now? Because this is the same man who said he would never apologize for what he did, you know. It is the same man who said if he got an opportunity to do it again, he would have done it again. So what are you going to communicate to me now, labor rights? It is a shame. This is a blatant disregard for our rules. And when people speak up, when people talk, you want to shut them down? We knew that he breached the procurement guidelines. We knew he was in breach. We know he was wrong. Corruption will never leave this administration and this country as long as we allow the Jamaica Labour Party to believe that they're above the law. It will never change. It will never change. It will never change.
Jamaica ranked 73 and they scored 44 on the 2025 index, the same score as the year before. How is that score calculated?
So it's important to put in context for the listeners how the score is done. So when this range from 0, you're highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. Now, Jamaica, we have scored 44 since 2017, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. So you're seeing where we improved in 2017, but we've remained with the 44 since. And the question that we have to ask ourselves as citizens, why we have not gotten better, we haven't gotten worse, are we satisfied with the fact that there is no improvement and we are somehow stagnant? What is our feelings? What are some of the contributing factors why we have not seen improvement in our country when we want to have a system where we have improved significantly in our corruption score? And I think that is the question Jamaican citizens have to ask themselves today.
So what does Jamaica's score, that 44, what does it mean and what does it say about where we are, how we're doing as a country?
No, a score of 44 is moderate. But any score under 50 is generally not seen as good. And I think we have to put in context that the average score is 42. So while we're doing a little bit better than the average, and we're seeing a worsening globally with how countries are doing and the levels of corruption or perceived corruption in the countries, I don't think we should be satisfied with where we are. Because a score generally below 50 means that there are still high levels of bribery, favoritism in public contracting, possibility of political influence, impunity, or weaknesses in our institutions. I think one of the things I must say, though, that we have a strong integrity commission in our country, which was established by law in 2017. Perhaps that's one of the contributing factors why we actually improved in 2017. The question, though, why have we not gotten any better? I think we have to look at several issues. We still see corruption matters emerging. The most recently, for example, maladministration based on the allegations of misuse of the tax exemption certificate recently at the university hospital. We have a matter actively before the courts right now, and that is good. But we have not seen the improvements in the law. We know that the Integrity Commission Act, for example, was before a joint select committee authority. We have not seen the conclusion of that or any strong indication that we will see the strengthening of the institutions. But on the contrary, we have had public commentary from government officials that have made less than favorable comments towards the major anti-corruption agency. We don't have an anti-bribery act in this country, which means that some of the situations where a private sector agency may have been involved in bribery actions, we do not have robust mechanisms to deal with that. We don't have a strong framework that deals with conflict of interest. And I think generally, even our attitudes as citizens, it perhaps need improvement. Yes, people are angry about some of the situations that come up in the news broadcast, as CVM will say on the midday news, on the 5 o'clock news, 7 o'clock news. But are we angry enough to demand better and more from our government officials so that they know that they must do better, that they must have the enforcement of the laws that we have already and actually move towards strengthening of the institution? Perhaps it's a combination of all of those factors where we have not seen the improvement in the scores in the country.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I am saying tonight. When you have the head of the stream being as corrupt as it is today, you cannot expect any change. What type of change can you anticipate under this administration? Let us be very honest. What type of change can we anticipate? We recognize that no more than ever before, instead of accountability, instead of transparency, instead of understanding how dangerous and how consequential it is if we allow corruption to roam freely in this nation, what do you think is going to happen? The future of our children are in jeopardy, ladies and gentlemen. The future of this country is in jeopardy. Why? Because Jamaica has accepted corruption as the new norm. Jamaica has accepted corruption as the new norm. And it is very embarrassing. I'm looking at the poll with Barbados. I'm not seeing any, there's no numbers being updated here. But persons say that it is expected for Mia Mottley to win. Mia Mottley is expected to win. Yes, she's expected to win. The super chat will be coming tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, God has been really good to me, I won't be here all night. My time, I don't know why persons want me to stay late up until 10. Listen, I do my shift. Yes. But it's a disgrace though. You know, Jamaica is at an all-time low. Jamaica is at an all-time low. And I think many of us we've accepted it. Even some of us. Some of us we've accepted corruption. We've accepted corruption. You may say, no, Perry, I don't accept corruption, but are we angry enough? Look at the many things that we've seen. Look at the many things that we've seen in this country. What more do we want to happen in this nation before the people start to march and cry out and peacefully protest? I don't want anybody to vandalize the place. But what else are we waiting for? Ladies and gentlemen, the Observer did put this out as breaking news, but I got the Gleaner's report. New taxes will be coming. And the government is going to try and convince us that the vulnerable Jamaicans will be protected. Are you convinced, ladies and gentlemen? Under this administration, the vulnerable will be protected. Look how many vulnerable people are in the West. Look at the amount of vulnerable people we have in the West. Are they protected? Are you sure? Minister Favour, you've been very clueless from the inception of your appointment as minister. I have not been convinced. I have not been convinced about your expertise on the ministry. You are here telling us, you out of anybody else. Listen, somebody else please try and convince me, but not Minister Favour. How are you going to protect the people of Jamaica from the new taxes that is to come when your government, your administration is unable to even put a roof over the heads of the persons who lost them due to the hurricane? How can we be convinced that your administration will protect us, the vulnerable, when all that you've done is to gaslight the people of this country? When the people began to speak up about the questionable modus operandi of your administration, we question how the aid was being distributed last year. In Favour, we question your administration as to how the performance of the government was after Hurricane Melissa. Your Prime Minister came out and gaslighted the people. It's not giving caring. It's not giving kind. It's not giving protection of the vulnerable. Andrea, I said that tomorrow, at the very opening of Parliament, Jamaicans should have marched to Garden House and asked for the resignation of Christopher Tufton for his incompetence as Minister of Health. Talking about grand opening for the clicks and the likes and all of that. Huh? Jamaicans should have gathered at Garden House tomorrow before God and man and demanded for the resignation of Christopher Tufton. They should have demanded for the resignation of Mr. Mackenzie. But Jamaicans aren't angry enough. That's what the lady is saying. We are not angry enough because there's a 60% of this country. They have sat down and they have accepted that this is the norm. And nobody cares. Look at what the Ministry of Health has deteriorated to. Look at what has happened under the auspices of Mr. Tufton. And that is not enough for people to go and protest. A long-standing issue of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. A blatant disregard of our nurses and doctors. The working conditions are poor. And I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, this should have been enough for the people in this country to gather. I am willing to go out. But if we're not united, ladies and gentlemen, me one now go out there. This has to be a united effort. Look at how the Maroons did it back in the days. Never know one person. Everybody came together. But there's a 60% of this nation that don't care. And it is so concerning. Because everything that is happening in this country, it's affecting you. It's affecting me. It affects you and it affects me. And we sit down and we accept it. Why? Because my grandmother did a labor right. Because my grandfather did a labor right. Because I'm in a JLP stronghold. Because me get a little food, me get a 5 grand. And a lot of you, you've sold out your right to honestly represent your views because of money. And look at what we're seeing now. Let the labor rights talk. They can say all that they want to say. Now persons want to shift the focus to Damian Crawford and Peter Bunting, trying to stir up propaganda in the PNP, making it seem as if the PNP is falling apart, when it was simply a strategic move by Mr. Mark Golding to have Dr. Dawes ask Mr. Tufton some very serious questions at the PAC meeting. But we know that the JLP is a propaganda machinery. We know that the JLP was built on lies and deception. So they are going to come now and stir up some unnecessary argument and try to make it seem as if something is happening in the PNP. What I am even more disappointed about is that you have PNP supporters who are falling into that trap that the JLP is setting. You have PNP people who are questioning what is happening with Damian Crawford as if you were told that something bad was happening. Look at what is happening in our country. And look at what the labor rights are choosing to spend their time and talk about and vlog about. Look at what they are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Speculations. There's speculative blogging and reporting. Nothing with substance. Being misguided and being misled by Nationwide. Because that article that Nationwide put up, it is definitely misleading. And you have people who are falling into the trap of the fake news that is coming from the JLP propaganda machinery. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not be distracted. We must be focused in this season. We must be focused in this season. Do not allow history to repeat itself. This is what Mr. Edward Seaga did in the 1980s. He allowed the United States to destabilize the Jamaican economy. They funded Edward Seaga through the CIA. They spread propaganda on Mr. Michael Manley and poisoned Jamaicans against good intentions. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, the JLP's way to victory, and I'm putting victory in quotation marks, the way to victory for the Jamaica Labour Party is dependent on lies, deceit, propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation. That is what the JLP was built upon. Know your history. Don't allow them to come and talk about PNP's propaganda machinery. Where? Where? Ask yourself the question, which one of the political parties really and truly represent propaganda, lies, and deception? And they're trying the same plan today. I'm saying this with every passion that I can feel inside of me tonight. Comrades, we are on a good path. Comrades, we have 28 seats. Comrades, we can bring it home the next general election. Don't allow the propaganda machinery of the Jamaica Labour Party to cause comrades to turn against each other. That is what they continually do. Don't be distracted. But I want to say this, and I think I'm going to end on this note, because I recognize that labor rights are willing to protest over every single thing. Labor rights are willing to protest over every single thing. They are willing to walk out and cause the excitement. As soon as something happens that is not within their liking, or they don't like it and they don't believe that it's supposed to go, as soon as they are not satisfied, ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaica Labour Party start protests. You would think it is the PNP who is in government. The JLP, they are good. You know, they will do well in opposition, you know. The Jamaica Labour Party is a good opposition. They were never fit to be government. They were never fit to be government. You would think that it is the PNP who is in power. The type of fight that I see the PNP getting. Protests by JLP. You would think that it is the PNP who is in power. This is a shameless organization. Shameless government and administration. They make a lot of noise about some of the silliest of things. What they should be protesting over and about, they won't do that. It is time for the People's National Party to take a firm stance against some of the clear foolishness that we've been seeing in Parliament. When we saw that the Minister of Finance last year didn't have a clue what was happening in our country, didn't have a clue as to how the numbers were being crunched. Great threat to the progress of this nation. When we saw the blatant disregard for procedures, rules, and regulations coming from the head of the stream, the office of the Prime Minister, in a very cheeky way, trying to speak out against bureaucracy as if it is something bad. Why? Because they want to give more wiggle room for their administration to bypass and undermine the rules and regulations in this nation. It is a shame and a disgrace. Look at what they choose to protest over. Where's the protest for the people in the West? Look at the state of the people in the West. People living under tents and tarpaulins after so long. Where is the protest for that? Where is the protest for that? Look at what our focus. It's all about power when it comes to this administration. It's all about power. It's all about power. PNP, take a stand. Take a stand. I am making, and I have to go and rest too. So I'm going to say this to the People's National Party, my beloved party, to my wonderful opposition. I wish you all the best tomorrow. And I pray that that you will continue to represent well. But let me say this to you. Do not enter into parliament with anything else other than solely this, that your foremost and very present responsibility is to advocate on behalf of the people of Jamaica. Don't get caught up in the silliness that we've seen from the government. I believe there must be a clarion call for the resignation of Dr. Christopher Tufton. You remembered when the JLP was in opposition and they demanded for the resignation of Mr. Fenton Ferguson? You remembered? You remembered, ladies and gentlemen? Now I'm saying, in 2026, we need to take some very serious positions as the true leaders of this country, the builders of this nation. We need to take some very serious positions. Let them criticize. Because I'm pretty sure that this minister of health and wellness is the worst that we've seen. Even Mr. Azan. They demanded resignation for Mr. Azan and Mr. Ferguson. But I am demanding for the resignation of Mr. Tufton and Mr. Vaz. We're not waiting until the next general election. He already planned on going into retirement. Well, take an early retirement, Mr. Vaz. You blatantly disregard rules and regulations, and you're rude, you're obnoxious when you're in parliament. You're full of arrogance. Nobody can say anything to you. Your leadership is filled with what? Rude remarks and things that are just so degrading. Even when you're wrong. Even when you're wrong. You need to go. This reactive government, no care for the people. When are we going to start demanding the resignation of some of these so-called ministers? When? But let me remind you, there is a shake-up coming. There is a shake-up coming, ladies and gentlemen. There is a shaking that is going to come. Listen this. Remember, the apostle said some very sound words in recent times.
Not if Jamaica is to be changed, because we know Jamaica is being changed. Jamaica is being transformed. And by or before 2027, we will see a new Jamaica emerging. Not completely new, obviously, but there will be major turning points. One of them, finally, we will be led by a righteous prime minister. And it might seem like a pipe dream. I'm smiling because those of us who are able to see in the realm of the spirit, we have some interesting developments coming this year that will trigger changes politically, which will take many by surprise, because there are those who think that they are around forever and they can stay as long as they want. We shall see what we shall see. That's all I'm going to say. We shall see what we shall see. So apart from the intensification of judgment, which will come in different ways, not just natural disasters, but God will also use external intervention in the affairs of Jamaica. I'm going to say it one more time. God will use external interference in the affairs of Jamaica in order to set things right. Since we have leaders who think nobody like them, and they have put themselves in power through corrupt practices, we have a system of election where persons are to be duly elected, and they corrupt the system. So what God is going to do is going to use other means of displacing them. Watch and you will see. external intervention in addition to continued disasters of different types. So we shall see what we shall see. This is going to be a pivotal year which will pave the way for what will manifest in 2027. So we continue to pray the process through.
We shall see what we shall see. We shall see what we shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pray and we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a really good interview with Mr. Isat Buchanan. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're new here, please subscribe, share, like, and let us anticipate another move of God. Yes, let us anticipate another move of God. And for those who will have a problem with the truth is an offense. You know, I don't need to try and prove anything to no Labourite or Labourite undercover. The truth is the truth. Some of you are so disingenuous to the point where you lie to yourselves. Look at the state of our nation. Don't tell me about when PNP was in power. You've been in power for some time. You've been in power for some time. Stop playing politics. Don't be intentionally dull and dunce. There comes a time when we need to wake up, wise up, smell the coffee, and ask yourselves the question: are we benefiting from the third term? And if anybody knows me, I split justice right across the board. I don't care what political party you support. If anybody knows me, if you've been on the perspective, you know how I operate. I'm not like other places. I say it very clearly. If you're a PNP and you are wrong, you are wrong. But that is something that Labourites won't say, because they've sold out their souls for politics. And they've sold their souls to the Andrew Holness-led administration. And they have committed to following this script to the very grave, even when they're in breach, clearly. So I'm not here talking as if the PNP is a perfect organization. Don't be stupid. We all know that no political party is perfect. No organization is perfect. But the role of the opposition is to hold the government accountable and to provide alternatives. You cannot have a problem in a healthy democracy when the opposition speaks up. It's like Labourites want the opposition to be silent. That's not how a democracy works. And if you want to have a dictatorship, go somewhere else. Jamaica is not the place for you. The role of the opposition is to call out wrong when we see it. The role of the opposition is to provide solutions and to give alternatives. Nobody's not going to sit down in Jamaica and allow the JLP to wreck the country and don't say anything about it. In which democracy do you see a silent opposition? In any proper democracy at that. A healthy democracy provides public discourse and gives room to have public conversations, to have the opposition weigh in on what is happening in this nation. So don't try to tell people to keep silent. We're here talking about facts. What is it that we've said here that is lies? The Auditor General, since you, again, should I remind you of the facts? Where are the lies? The Auditor General, and on another night, we'll go over it again. But it was last night or the night before, over here, we went through all the concerns that the Auditor General has put forth to the public. It was alleged, ladies and gentlemen, mismanagement in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Ministry of Energy, over by RADA, still the Minister of Agriculture. You understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Look at what is happening at the hospital. Should I go on? The procurement breach by the Minister of Energy Telecommunications. Should I go on? We're not speaking anything. We're not telling lies on anybody. We don't need to lie. The proof is there. But them say the proof is in the pudding. I saw it go. The proof is there for all of you to see. The economy is stagnant. Numbers don't lie. Check the numbers. The economy has barely moved. So what prosperity are you defending? What prosperity are you defending? Open your eyes. Reason objectively. This is not about color. It's not about green nor orange. We're talking about the proof. Wasn't it the same Minister Vaz? Because since a lie we are tell. A lie we are tell. Didn't the telecommunications minister says that he accepts the Auditor General's position about the procurement breaches? Repeat after me, labor rights. Procurement breaches. Procurement breaches. Telecommunications minister says he accepts Auditor General position about procurement breaches. Yes. So unless you cannot read, here is the proof and the receipt. Open your eyes. So read with me, because some of you are probably blind. Read it. I don't know. Is it that they're so bright to the point that they speak as if they're dunce? Or I don't know. But we were warning Minister Vaz about the very same breach that he went ahead and committed. And when we were calling out the Jamaica Labour Party and the Minister of Telecommunications about the breach, they defended him and made it seem as if he was in the right. As a matter of fact, the Minister of Energy said he did absolutely nothing wrong. Am I lying, ladies and gentlemen? Because them say I must bring receipts. There is the receipt. Fight with the receipt. Fight with the proof. But every time you defend corruption, you are a part of the problem. Every time you condescendingly speak down to people who are bringing the truth to light, you are also a part of the problem. Even when the proof is before your very faces. Maybe I have to make it bigger. Me don't know. See that it alone upon the screen. It alone upon the screen, ladies and gentlemen. It was wrong. What he did was wrong. He broke the law. It is corruption. He disregarded procurement guidelines. My God, can labor rights be so slow? He came out and admitted that he was wrong. What are you debating about? And if you continue to defend corruption, you are also a part of the problem. And that's the reason why this government continues to behave in this manner. That's the reason why the Prime Minister can come out and in a very deceptive way fight against rules and regulations that exist to protect the people against corruption, skullduggery, mismanagement, misappropriation of funds. If you feel bad that your party is clearly wrong and you are ashamed, it is okay. But don't be angry at the comrades. We're simply putting the truth to you. Don't argue with us. Go and argue with the Auditor General. Go and argue with the facts. Go and argue with the facts. Some of you Laborites, you are a disgrace to democracy in this country. You are a disgrace to democracy and the progress of this nation. Nobody is against the minister getting Starlinks. And again, the slowness of some of these Laborites must be studied. I refuse to believe that you are that daft. Nobody is against the procurement of Starlinks. How you go about getting them is of serious concern. And if you don't see a problem with that, simply because you support the Jamaica Labour Party, you are a part of the problem. The Jamaica Labour Party organization must be rolled down in a barrel off of a hill. Because what they've done, ladies and gentlemen, is to blind their followers from the truth. No objectivity in their advocacy. So even when the minister himself come out and accepted that he was wrong, they're going to tell me that he was right. What type of nonsense is this? What type of stupidness is this? Even when the man come out and accept that he was wrong, Laborites are going to still come out and say the man was right. This must be studied. This must be studied at this point. And I blame the president of the party. I blame Andrew Holness. Because he keeps these people, he keeps them in the dark because he can get the blind loyalty from them. Because at the end of the day, all that matters to them is that they get another term. It's a cultish and a nonsensical set of people. So even when you provide, you see, it is not receipts you don't want. You don't want people to be silent. It's not proof you don't want, because even with the proof, you still come and spit the same nonsense. You feel bad because JLP is under scrutiny. And a lot of the things that we've been telling you guys about, the blatant corruption, the head of the stream being corrupt, the Machiavellian mindset and tendency of the JLP, it is now coming to the forefront. So because we are exposing the corruption of your party, the party that you follow, you're ashamed. Don't take it out on us. Ask your prime minister, why is it that they are intentionally disregarding the rules and regulations implemented to protect the people from corruption? We deserve to be protected from corrupt politicians. We deserve to be protected from illicit enrichment. Taxpayers' money must be taking care of the welfare of the people, not to line on the pockets on the favorite politician pockets. Huh? So let me narrow down the conversation to you, blind Laborite followers. If you continue to support an organization that is as corrupt as the Jamaica Labour Party, you are also a part of the problem. You are complicit to the corruption from this administration. And you don't love Jamaica. You love the Jamaica Labour Party. Let me speak to your conscience if you have one, because I know you guys are listening. I know you're listening. Let me take 2 more minutes and speak to your conscience, because this is something that I'm very, very passionate about. How we've hugged up corruption and we sweep it under the carpet. Why? Because it's your government who is in power, or it's your government who is to be held accountable? If you continue to support what this administration is doing, you are just as bad. How could you say you serve God and love God and see all of this that is happening in the media, all of the Auditor General reports, and you have no problem with that, you are also a part of the problem. And that's one of the reasons why Jamaica cannot move forward. Because you've dumbed down your reasoning capabilities to only see green versus orange. And if it is not green, it makes no sense to you, even when the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. So disgrace. Let us pray though. We're going to pray and then we're going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that my new song is out. Yes, my new song is out. It is on all the digital platforms. It's over. The lyric video is over on my other YouTube channel, Perry in Christ Music. If you've streamed it, thank you so much for streaming. If you've not yet streamed it, please go and stream it. Leave a comment, share, listen to what I'm saying. If you're new here, subscribe. I go live at 6 p.m. to 8, right? Every evening, unless something else happens, and I'll communicate with you all. So please check us out tomorrow. Yes. We're going to talk about some more things. So please go and subscribe, go and listen, share. Listen, we need 1,000 views over there on the YouTube channel, right? For that song. Please go and subscribe, share, and all of that good vibe. Yes, man, continue to remain safe. Let us pray before we go, all right? Father, we give you thanks for another opportunity to advocate, to have conversations, to reason. Lord, I pray that you will help us to wake up and to see what is happening in this nation. Lord, for those who are just seeing the colors, I pray that you'll open their eyes and let them see justice that should be happening. Allow them to see what is taking place and how it is negatively impacting this country. My God, I pray that you will wake us up, those who are sleeping. We pray for this government, the opposition, our leaders. Weed out those who needs to be weeded out. The corrupt ones, the ones who continuously undermine good governance and democracy, who continues to weaken the institutions that were established to protect the people and to prevent corruption from taking a great disadvantage of our children's future. Lord, I pray that you'll clean house. We don't care on which side the corruption is. Clean house. Because Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity. Let your name be glorified. Let your will be done. As we look to you and tell you thanks. In Jesus' name. And let the people say, Amen. Listen, see you soon. See you soon. Nearer, newest, most anointed new song on the block. Perry in Christ featuring Ryan Mark is going to take us out. See you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Still all my song shall be nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee. God, are you me calling on? You are the one step of footprint in the sun. Do things rough up on your word of where me stand. Draw me closer, Father God, just hold my hand. Because me need you right now. Every day me just a pray. Lord Jesus, me beg you, please no make me stray. You are the only way. I still have a few words to say. You are the God of my life. Without you, Lord, I just can't survive. Oh, you do?
I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. Wave your hand now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. What I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless her now. I want to hear. When the name is called, I want to hear. Everybody do so. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something out. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the rope and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, man, we have done, man. Everybody so. Live up my life. Live for Jesus. This is silent night. What a holy night. But Virgin Mother and Child, holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly, God bless you. And we tell some people, I know one prayer we pray.